It's time to go again. Last season we finished fourth in the Premier League for the second year in a row. And this year we have got a new stadium. Things are on the up at Everton. And I think in our third full season, this just could be our year. Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome to the opening episode of the new season of Football Manager 2021 Conquering the Euro. Today we start season 7 of the save. That's gone so quickly, it's crazy. But in today's episode, we start our third full season with Everton. And when we come to the club, I said, I think probably by our third full season, we want to get this squad really into shape and put up a title challenge. And that, hopefully, is what we're going to do this season. I'll show you the new arrivals, some of the departures and what's happened in the squad. And then we will play our first 2 Premier League matches against Norwich away from home at Carrow Road. And then you'll get your first glimpse, and my first glimpse as well, of the Bramley Moor Dock Stadium, capacity of 52,500 when we play Sheffield United. You can see that the schedule this season has been quite nice to us for a start. I think that Norwich, Sheffield United, Southampton and Watford could be 12 points from 12. However, the start of September isn't too pretty with that Merseyside derby. But then we've got Bournemouth, Fulham. I think apart from Liverpool, we should have a very strong start to the season, of course. We have got the EFL Cup and we've also got the Champions League, which we enter the group stage of after the first international break. So in terms of the clubs that have been promoted this year then, we have got Reading that have been promoted, Fulham and Blackburn. So nice to see Blackburn back after, what, it's been actually in game nearly 17 years since Blackburn have been in the Premier League. It's got to be about the same for Reading. Yeah, about 16 years. And Fulham have been up and down, and this is their first return to the Premier League for quite a few years. And Paul Clement's in charge there. Remember Paul Clements? Swansea and Reading manager, but he's come to Fulham now. He's been with Cercle Bruges in Belgium for 8 years, and it'd be nice to see how he gets on now, the ripe old age of 56. We're predicted again to finish in 7th place. The mind really boggles, but I think we've got a really good chance this year. So let's have a look at some of the transfers. I'll be honest, there isn't much going on in terms of the ins, and I'll explain that in just a minute. So we're going to focus on the outs, the players that have gone out first off. The first of which was Connor Cody, and I admit that probably when I signed this boy 12 months ago, it was more of a bit of a love signing, knowing that we were buddies at Wolves and he was leaving Levante on a free, and he played nine games for us, and at the end of the day, he's gone to Midtjylland for £420,000, potentially of nearly £500,000. We've not really lost anything there. And again, he was a good backup at centre-back. We've sold a few of our youngsters on frees, don't need to worry about that too much. We have also sold Marcus Edwards, who, admittedly, I'd have liked to have got more for, but £16.5 million, we'll take it. He's a player that is approaching his last year of his contract at the club. And as you can see, played a lot of games before last year, and then last season only played 15 for us. And with some of the options we've got in attack, that would only be less this year, and his value will diminish, and I think it was a good time to get rid of him. He's an influential player, so that's a bit painful, but I think it's a good decision financially. We've also sold David Woods to Leeds, and this is a player you definitely won't recognise. I didn't either, but he's a 16-year-old, come through our youth intake last year, and we were powerless to this, absolutely powerless. The board blocked whatever we said, ignored what we said. We'd had a few bids of sort of £500,000, 600,000, but once it went over the million mark, the club went, right, he can go. And he looks like a pretty special player, but hopefully it doesn't quite come to fruition for Leeds' sake. So looking at what's happened in the last few months, we've got a few loans out, which I'll look at in a second. We got rid of Darko Giabi, who again didn't play a game for us. Good profit signing this was, to be honest. We signed him on a free from Watford last year as a real backup midfielder. Didn't play for us, went out on loan to Hull, and Middlesbrough picked it up for £2.5 million. It's a no-brainer, and some good money made for us there, even though the player never even played for us. We've sent a few of our youngsters out on loan. You can see Ryan Hill, the right winger, has gone to Getafe. Alex Allen has gone to Copenhagen. And Errol McNaughton has gone out on loan to Preston. And we've also sold our first Everton signing, actually. This was our first signing for Everton. Ishmael Gutierrez. We signed him for £9.5 million. Played 41 league games for the club. Did a decent job. He's gone to Norwich for £14 million. So we've made a profit on him. Good player. Good versatility. Well, not so much a versatility player, but a player that you can count on and solid performances. But again, we've got a lot of options in midfield now. He's similar to Marcus Edwards. He only played 13 games for us last year. And we were offered £14 million. It seemed like an offer that was too good to refuse. So that's it in terms of the outs. Not a busy transfer window in terms of the outs, and in fact, it won't take long at all for us to talk about the ins. First off, I want to talk about Pablo Duran, who is actually out on loan again at Atletico Nacional. Now, he signed last season. He didn't sign this season. He signed last season. But I just want to show you something. He went out on loan to Atletico Nacional last year and did pretty well, actually. He's got 8 goals since he's been there. Got a really good potential, as you can see, maybe a 5-star potential. But he's one to keep an eye on, another attacking option. And this one, as you can see, we didn't make a signing from the 20th of July 2027 till the 9th of June 2028. So nearly a year without actually making a signing. But we signed Hamilton Sierra, and this boy looks special. We picked him up for £2 million. Again, another player from Atletico Nacional, and he looks like a really special boy, as you can see. 18 years of age, valued already at £11 million, and already a 4-star player. He can play all along the attacking midfield, with really the centre of attacking midfield being his strong point, and could become a 5-star player. And he actually, I think he's only on the bench today because he has got a twisted ankle, but he could be a really special player. And then in terms of this year's signings, we've only made one. Richard McRae, again, another solid young player, come from Blackburn for £950,000. 2-star rating at the moment, out on the right wing, but could become a very special player. And again, really a no-brainer, and he's one for the future to see how he gets on. So, you'll probably question at this point, well, where's the big signing? If you're going to go and win the league, then you need to go and sign someone big. Well, what's happened this year is a lot of our younger players have started to come through. They've been out on loan, they've honed their craft, and I think they are ready to come into the first team. So they are effectively new signings. So let's go through them now. We've talked about Hamilton Sierra and Richard McRae. We've got this boy here. We've got Alfredo Gonzalez, who went out on loan to Eibar for 2 years in a row. Didn't do brilliantly, but as you can see, he's a 2-star player, potential 3.5-star. He's probably looking at being our 4th choice up front, but yeah, he's not a bad player. He's probably not the best one to focus on to start this. We've got Sam Atkinson, who a lot of you will be familiar with now. He played a lot for us last year, played 30 games for us last year. Didn't have the most brilliant season in front of goal, but he was a reliable choice out on that right wing. Probably looking at being 2nd or 3rd choice this year, but again, another good player. Josh Hope, he starts today's game actually as our forward. We've got that many injuries, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. But Josh Hope looks a really good player. He really does. Went out on loan to Leicester last year in the Premier League. Played 26 games. Scored 10. So that's a goal every sort of 2.5 matches. I'd take that personally. If he's playing for a full season, you're looking at that being 15 or 16 goals. And again, he's a good striker. If you ignore, I think if you ignore Satona and Lorenzo being either on the wing or the centre attacking midfield. Nearly broke my glasses there. That was a clever move. He's 2nd choice, really. We've got Reece Nelson, who's a good player and can play out on the wings, but he's more of a versatile player. Josh Hope is a striker and a striker only. And at the end of the day, it says here he's played for Swansea and Leicester, making a combined total of 59 appearances and scoring 23 goals. So he certainly knows where the net is, and some of these stats will only improve. We've got Russell Lee as well. Again, another backup option, really. You can see he's only 2.5-star. If he doesn't do much this year, I might look at selling him next year. But again, another decent player. And last few players to go through. We've got Terry Bernard, we won't focus on him. Harrison Salkin is probably the last one to look at. He's, again, another attacking option, a solid player. He was out on loan in Portugal last year. 32 appearances, 7 goals. Not a bad average rating. Something similar to Sam Atkinson. And another option in the attacking midfield. But just looking at this squad, we have got plenty of options. We have got a few players out injured. In fact, we've got a lot of players out injured. So we'll talk about that now, I suppose. We've got 6 injuries to start the season, which isn't marvellous. We've got Dennis Zakaria out. We've got Robin van den Berg out for a few weeks. Iwobi, Livramento, Bates and Sierra all out. So it's quite a depleted squad. But this is the squad that we're going to take for our first match against Norwich. Let's go through it. So we've got Jordan Pickford in goal. Henry Lawrence playing at right back. Again, one of our backup players. We've got Pat Meyer, who did well alongside Ben Godfrey, I think it was. No, it was Diego Almeida. It was Meyer and Almeida who played well together in the centre of defence. And then we've got Larios at left back. Now, something I am going to try this year, irrespective of injuries, I'm going to try Ben Godfrey as a central midfielder. Just to see how he gets on. I know he's 30 years of age, but he's a very solid player. I think Pat Meyer is good enough to come in at the back. And if there's one side of this squad that worries me a little bit, it's having that star midfielder. And I think Ben Godfrey could actually do that for us, hence why I've put him there. We've got Mattia Viviani as well as more of a defensive midfielder. And as you can see, below that, we've got Bernard and Russell Lee on the bench. We haven't got much in terms of midfield options at the moment because we've got so many players out injured. Reece Nelson will start on the right wing, with Satona out on the left wing, and we'll have Solken at centre attacking midfield and Josh Hope up front. A lot of these players are unknowns. Josh Hope, definitely. Solken, probably. Ben Godfrey, obviously, playing in midfield for the first time. Henry Lawrence, I'm still not sure about, but we've got a lot of good young talent on the bench, particularly going forward, but our backup options are okay. We look good at the back. We have got Almeida, of course, to come back as well. We've got Kenneth Taylor. But let's just see how we get on. I've got real confidence this will be a good season for Everton. Let's see how we get on. We've got quite a few players out. Lorenzo, of course, is out as well. I forgot to mention Lorenzo Chevalier. This is why I call him Lorenzo. I always do this and call him, well, butcher his name. He's out at the Olympics with France, so he's going to be out for the next few weeks, which is a blow. And at the start of any season, you don't know what's going to happen. It's a bit of a worrying time, to be honest, because you have no idea how good your squad's going to be. We've got a few players making their debut today. I think it's actually only the one with Josh Hope making his potential debut up front. But it's an exciting yet nervy time because the first 4 games of this year, I'd say, are quite big for us. If we can't capitalise on these 4 games, then your title chance can go very, very quickly. And after finishing 4th the last 2 years, I think we've got a chance, but not the most explosive start to this game against Norwich. They are actually on top, which worries me a little bit. But considering we are away from home, I can take that. First highlight then of the day. Deji Satona getting dispossessed, which isn't great. Diego Almeida, Ben Godfrey in his new midfield role. Not the best ball there. I guess this is not effectively a new squad, but there are new players in this squad that need to gel. But that wasn't the best from us, really wasn't. Tyrese Campbell scores from Norwich to make it 1-0 to the Canaries, but that wasn't the best from us at all. Just far too open at the back. Henry Lawrence nor Pat Meyer will wait to that at all, and Tyrese Campbell takes the lead for Norwich. It's not looking the best, is it, to start this at all? We've not showed too much. Our attackers have been quite poor. Bit of a worrying start if we lose our first match. Todd Campbell into the box. This looks a bit worrying to me. It does. We're not offering much at all. The players need to kick up the backside at half-time because there's nothing better than starting off your campaign with a win. We're going to, thrash our arms and say that was rubbish, to be honest. We'll go a bit more attacking into the second half and see if that helps us. It might help to have Viviani as a box-to-box midfielder and perhaps have Godfrey as the more defensive midfielder. I think that would be quite wise, and have Mazzala for Viviani. Reece Nelson, winger, I'm happy with that. Winger for Satona as well. I don't think we can afford to bring Larios off, but I think, we haven't got anybody to replace him. That's the one problem. Kenneth Taylor's on the bench, but again, I don't think he's going to do much from there. But I'm happy with his squad. We just need to get firing. It's taking a while to get firing, clearly. And hopefully this second half will be a lot better. Let's see. Larios. Satona. Back to Larios. Diego Almeida. That was a poor pass. Very poor pass. Viviani, though, gets the ball back. We're actually playing against our former player, Gutierrez. Not too sure about Viviani taking the shot on, though, there. Must be honest. But we've not looked all that threatening at the start of this year. If we go and win the title this year, it certainly won't be on the back of anything we've displayed so far in the first hour at Carrow Road. I mean, not even to sort of have a decent attempt at goal worries me. Did that hit a hand? Looks like Ismael Gutierrez might be coming to help us out here in his first game for his new employers. I can see Blackburn are 2-0 up against Southampton, which is a brilliant result for them because Southampton look quite a good side as well. Blackburn 2-0 up, that'll be a good result, wouldn't it? Is it going to be a penalty? Is it a lifeline? It is. It is a penalty for us. I just realised because Marcus Edwards has now gone, I don't know who is going to take the penalties for us. That's something I forgot to do in pre-season. I just hope whoever does take the penalty will get their right foot on it and bang it into the net. Who is it? Oh, it's going to be Harrison Solken. He's been out on loan for a year. It'd be a good return if he scores this, and he does. Harrison Solken gets our first goal of the season, and hopefully we can kick on from here and get 3 points. But it's been, nervy at best, it's fair to say at the moment. Josh Hope on a 6.2, so not a good day for him at all at the moment. Be worth making a few subs, I think, here. We'll bring Satona off, and we'll put Sam Atkinson out on the right. And we'll bring I think we'll bring our young kid McRae on, see how he gets on. We'll put Reece Nelson up front, do a bit of jiggery-pokery here. Actually, we'll put Sam Atkinson up front, sorry. And put McRae on the right, put Nelson on the left. And see how that works, because Josh Hope clearly not showing the same sort of firepower that he did for Leicester. But it's only one game, we can't get too carried away. I'd like to go and get the 3 points here. We have got 10 minutes to go and another substitution to potentially make, so there is chance to do something here. What I don't want to do, obviously, is go and lose the 3 points. That wouldn't be wise. Pickford with the ball out. I've got a feeling here this could be Norwich's day, but Pickford does well to get that. Just don't put a stupid ball out, Pickford. Hoofs the ball out, straight to a Norwich player. Don't know if that was wise, really. He should have just not really took a risk there. Cantwell puts it wide. Well, if this is a goal, this is completely Pickford's fault. I'll tell you what, Tyrese Campbell should have scored that. He really should have. Got a few minutes to go. Reece Nelson's looking tired now. This is the problem. We've got so many players that are either tired or just come back from injury. I don't know what's happened. We've had a terrible pre-season of injury. And that's our problem early on here. But Sam Atkinson just gets too much height on that. Far too much height. If he'd have kept that nodded and down to the ground, we'd have been coming home with 3 points. Don't quite know how I feel about that one. Bit of a get out of jail free card, I think. It wasn't our day. Certainly wasn't. I just hope that that isn't more of what's to come, because it seemed to be a poor performance. I guess that some of our players, haven't got massive injuries, so they'll be back to the squad soon, the likes of Livramento and Lewis Bate. Worrying signs, though. Again, it'll be nice to crown our new stadium, the Bramley Moor Dock Stadium, with a good thumping against Sheffield United. Let's treasure this while we can, ahead of the second match of the season. Blackburn are top of the Premier League. Blackburn, Sheffield United and Watford all in the top 4. Goodness gracious me. I don't think a point was actually a bad way to start, I think we might have been worrying a bit too much. United dropped points against Fulham. Chelsea dropped points against Brighton. Tottenham dropped points against Villa. It was really the day of the draw, and Man City dropped points against that little-known team called Arsenal. So all isn't lost, really. A lot of the big sides dropped points. The only one to take 3 points was Liverpool. And I just wanted to come back a bit earlier to show that. Because unfortunately, whoever wins that game at half 12 is going to knock them off the top of the table. Whoever that may be. It's going to be Manchester United who beat Tottenham. So Tottenham not having a good start to their campaign. But it is the first match today at the Bramley Moor Dock Stadium. The 52,500 capacity stadium will welcome Sheffield United. And Everton will be hoping to begin a new chapter in their history with a debut victory. And the side they'll be taking on Sheffield United is this one. We've got a few players back from injury. Lewis Bate is back from injury, although he's probably not fit to play the full match, but needs must. Harrison Solkin keeps his place in attacking midfield because despite he scored the penalty, but nevertheless he was our best performer in that match against Norwich, so it seems stupid to get rid of him. And Lorenzo is back after his Olympic Games period. He played 6 games and didn't score a goal. Well, that was really worth going, wasn't it, Lorenzo? But let's hope he's in better form for us today, or else we're going to have a bit of a struggle. But we've said it before, we've got plenty of goal scorers. I just hope that first match against Norwich was a bit of a blip. But new stadium, this should be something to get excited about. I'm hoping it's not something to worry about as such, because Goodison Park was a real fortress for us. We did really well, but look at this new stadium. It looks no different to Goodison. Sorry. But if we can repeat some of the same results as Goodison, it'll start to feel just like home. If Sheffield United go and beat us today, it might not be. Is this going to be an early penalty for Sheffield United? If it is, I just can't believe this. I'm going to change a few tactics. I've noticed a few things already that are concerning me. Should have done this for a pre-match really, but oh well. But if Sheffield United get a penalty here, I might just cry. We did have a bad start to our first season. They have got a penalty. We did have a bad start to our first season and recovered it, so it's okay. But for this season being the golden season, going behind in your first 2 matches isn't really the way you want to start it. And I might have been a bit complacent. I don't know. Again, it might be me worrying and being stupid, but it would be nice to get a good result against Sheffield United just to give me a bit of confidence that we've got a chance. They are the type of side, though. They very much are the type of side. In fact, I don't think we've got a good record against them at all. They are the type of side that will just sit back and put 2 banks of 4 behind us, which isn't the sort of football that we're very good at opposing. Harrison Salkin has an opportunistic shot from there. Not quite sure that was the right thing to do. We had a hell of a lot of possession, 78% of the ball. So you'd hope we're going to have a few more chances than that, and hopefully do a bit better with them than that. Good return from Reece Nelson to find the ball there. Salkin puts the ball to Lorenzo, but yeah, Salkin's been a bit... well, I don't think rubbish is the word, but a bit too opportunistic. But a good tackle from Pat Meyer there shows why he's in the central defence playing well there. Satona, don't shoot. What's going on here? We haven't got shoot on sight on. I'm going to work the ball into the box because we've had 4 shots, none of them particularly threatening. And if we keep doing that all day, I don't know who's managing Sheffield United, but they'll be laughing till the cows come home. Reece Nelson into the box. Good save from Aaron Ramsdale, who's still there. That's crazy, really. He's gone to the club in real life and done awfully, but he's still there in FM. Satona, through to Salkin. Salkin has a shot! And Salkin is the only player who's scored for us so far this year. The number 7. Really good finish from in there. Again, if he does well in the squad, there's no reason why he can't become a permanent fixture. He did play, let's say, sporadically in the first campaign when we hadn't got the likes of Sam Atkinson. But he went out on loan last year. And if he keeps doing things like that, it might tempt me to play him a bit more often. One thing I can notice, it's bigger than Goodison, isn't it? Definitely. There's an extra 18,000 seats, and that won't hurt our revenue at all. Livramento puts it back to Godfrey. Bate, Salkin, nope. Nelson puts it to Salkin again. Nelson to Deji Satona, who makes it 2-1 to the Blues. Harrison Salkin is in on absolutely everything at the moment. He might become the new Vandenberg or Lorenzo for us, potentially. Funnily enough, talking about Vandenberg, we had a bidding for him in pre-season from Inter Milan of 68 million. Now, I know we did pay 91 more for him, but I just thought that was hilarious. I mean, he's had a good campaign for us, but this kind of worries me. Well, it doesn't worry me, it makes our recruitment system look a bit stupid, but, you know, we paid 91 million for what was effectively an unproven player. And he had a good campaign, but again, it's a big risk to take on a player for Inter Milan. But obviously, he's still here. We firmly rejected the offer because he's worth a lot more than that to any club. We're looking at 150, 160 million, really, to be tempted to part with him. But we are ahead here. It's a nice feeling for the first time of the season, and hopefully it's something we can continue with. I just hope this doesn't make it 2 each. It nearly did there. It nearly did. We need to tighten up at the back a bit. 2 matches that haven't been clean sheets to start with. I know I'm being incredibly harsh on the team, but that's what we've got to be this year. If we want to win the title, we've got to take every chance. In the season review last year, all I did was go, well, you know, we dropped 2 points there where we should have won. So I don't want to repeat the same mistakes this year. That's crucial. But Sheffield United are on top, it seems, at the moment. But we are suppressing them in terms of pressure. But we have got a chance potentially here. Deji Satona out on the wing. Ooh, bad tackle by the Sheffield United man, but one that I suppose was worth taking. But we're 2-1 up. Again, it's not looking great. There's something that isn't quite clicking about this side just yet. Admittedly, there's a few of our key players out. Vandenberg's out. Sakaria's out. Maybe they're some of the players that make us tick. I don't know. And maybe Ben Godfrey in midfield doesn't work. You can't tell sometimes from the average ratings, but it's an experiment I fancy trying. He's one of our best players, and let's see if it works. But a good ball to Reece Nelson. Did that not go over the line? It was jolly well close. 10 shots, 3 on target. We're not being incredibly clinical, but as long as we can hold on to this, it's okay. We get our first 3 points of the season, then I figure out between episodes what the hell's going wrong. Not going to make a substitution for the time being. Our strikers haven't played very well, whether it be Lorenzo or Josh Hope in the 2 matches so far. But again, it's early days. It's too early to start analysing that kind of thing. But a lovely ball over from the Sheffield United defender. Pickford deals with it absolutely fine. I'm okay with that. Puts it out for a corner. I mean, I'd take 4 points from the first 2 games. Would have liked to have got 3 against Norwich, but given how that went with the penalty, I guess I'd take a point. Nelson to Bates. Godfrey to Satona. Godfrey against Salkin. Shoots! A little bit wide from Salkin, but fair dues for him taking the chance. He's like my little child, isn't he? It's alright, Harrison. If Reece Nelson does that, I'll start screaming at the lad. Right, 15 minutes to go. Lewis Bate looks tired, so we're going to bring Viviani on for him. We'll bring Sam Atkinson on the right, and we'll give Josh Hope another chance up front. I know it's only 15 minutes, but Lorenzo has just come back from the World Cup, so we want to rest him a little bit. Not the World Cup, sorry, the Olympic Games. Robin van den... We have actually had the World Cup, of course, this year, and Robin van den Berg did play pretty well. Got a few goals for Holland. We'll just stop there, though, because Josh Hope could avenge what happened in the previous match. I think if the defender hadn't got there, we'd have beaten Aaron Ramsdale quite easily. But again, you know, these players will get chances over time. So as long as we can get the 3 points, I'm happy with that. Josh Hope with another chance again from the corner. He's done more in 2 minutes here than he did in 80-odd minutes, or however long it was in the match against Norwich. But looks like we should get the 3 points here, unless Sheffield United have got a really late goal, and it could happen. Need to get an interception in here, unless they're just trying to play with my heart rate. I don't know, but here we go. Shot on goal. Luckily, it's the wrong side of the post, and it's not the most convincing win if this is to be a win. Oh dear. I don't like last-minute highlights when you're only 1 goal to the good. Pat Meyer, poor clearance there. Poor clearance. Alex Blanco, Livramento deals with it though. Sam Atkinson, what can he do? Runs with the ball a bit more. Back to Livramento. Just don't give the ball away. Don't give the ball away. Lovely ball from Livramento to Atkinson. Puts it into Josh Hope, who gets his first goal of the season. Well, we gave him 15 minutes and he scored. So, worry not about our players. I think the last 70 minutes has showed us I think we're all right. It just will take a bit of time for some of these youngsters to get into it. We've got a few players to come back. I don't think there's much to worry about. At least we haven't been humiliated. And this should be a good first result in the new stadium. Blackburn have won 2 games in a row. Unbelievable. Blackburn are top of the Premier League still. I thought, no, we'll come back before the episode. We'll come back before the match, because there is no way in hell Blackburn are going to win their first 2 games. But they did. They're not going to do a Leicester, are they? I mean, I know they only beat Watford, but even so, it's a good result for a newly promoted side. I'd definitely take that. And yeah, we begin our new era at the stadium with a victory. That's good to see. Well, is worried the right word? I don't know. I don't quite know what I expected, because if you're going to expect to bash teams 5-0 all the time, then it isn't going to happen. But I guess that's more of a secure result than the one against Norwich. We look like the best team on the day, and that's something to be pleased about. But hopefully we can go on a bit of a good run. To be fair, we've only got 2 games, because I do fancy coming back for this Liverpool match. All depends what happens with where the Champions League fits in. But we'll come back around about the start of September for either the Liverpool match or the start of the Champions League. Got a big run as well after that. Tottenham, Man United in there somewhere. But I think this could be our year. I really do. Not the most convincing start, but it'll do. 4 points from our first 2 games. No problem with that at all. If you guys enjoyed that, make sure to leave a like down below and comment your thoughts, and subscribe for regular Football Manager 2021 content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next few days with the next episode. Goodbye for now.